All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow Pandemonium travelers, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day 426 by my count, I think 426. So what's going on? What's going down? Locally, I believe there was a sort of planned protest last night at Cal Anderson Park. That's like Central Park. If you're a New Yorker or something, that's like right in the center of the Capitol Hill area. It's like a big open field. It's a central hub of public activity. It's a lot like Central Park, not quite as pretty. I visited Central Park back in like 2015 or so, and I was actually kind of impressed. I was like, wow, there's like little bridges and duck ponds, and it's like sort of like forest almost. Having grown up in the Pacific Northwest, I know my way around a forest or two, and I was like, wow, they really did kind of do a thing where they have this semi-wilderness. I'll grant you, it's sort of a semi-wilderness. And then, like, awful things happen in Central Park, of course, but I digress. Let's talk about Asian hate crimes. Now, I have some Twitter friends that are Asian, or what they call HAPA. That's like a part Asian. I've dated Asian girls and tried to date Asian girls. And in the Pacific Northwest, of course, we have there's 100 years or more of Asian habitation. I'm really not trying to rhyme that or anything. I mean, it just is a thing. Like there's been a consistent Asian East Asian. Although Indians and Pakistanis and stuff, South Asians are here. I'm sure there's Sri Lankans. I'm just saying the East Asian population has been persistent here in the Pacific Northwest for a long time. What, snow falling on cedars or something? There were anti-miscegenation laws specifically between Caucasians and Asians until the mid-'80s, right here in King County. I'd have to go double check, but I'm pretty sure it was the mid-'80s they finally rescinded anti-miscegenation laws. Now, part of that being there's sort of just racial tensions, and so a white guy gets jealous that an Asian guy is dating a white guy, and then you have problems, or vice versa. It's like a white guy is dating an Asian girl, and the Asian guys get jealous, and when it comes to romance and social issues, people act irrationally. Plus, you have like sex trafficking and stuff. So if you're trafficking women from East Asia, and then American men, like white men, are engaging in the trafficking, then you go, well, no, that's particularly bad, so therefore we're going to outlaw you people doing that to those people. So that's not meant to suppress Asian people. It's meant to stop bad behavior on the part of Caucasian, specifically men, I suppose. I don't know, just a thought. But let's talk about Asian hate crimes. Not hate crimes that Asian people are committing against other people. We already did that in early 20th century, World War II. Look it up. I'm talking about this epidemic. Supposed epidemic. There is clearly a media presentation of an epidemic of Asian, Asian Americans. I mean, is that the right term? Asian American is roughly accurate. It's kind of like, again, like Indians and Sri Lankans are also, I mean, technically Russians are Asian, right? Like Siberian, like, you know, Mongols are Asian, but at least they kind of look the way I think you would think of if I say Asians, right? East Asians in America are being assaulted by, you know, well, let's be clear here. This kind of dovetails with my critique of Black Lives Matter and liberal Democrat enclaves being bad at policing black people and thus resulting in the deaths of black people. So where do our East Asian residents live? Mostly in urban enclaves. Coastal blue cities, San Francisco, Seattle, LA, maybe New York City. But there is, I think there's actually a southern Asian population. I think they brought a lot of them in to go work in the South. And so now you have I think there is like a southern sort of enclave of like, of East Asian people in America. I might be wrong, you know, because this is, you know, this is all weird. This is like a weird conversation. But there's, I mean, honestly, aside from the guy in, like, was it Atlanta that went and, you know, some goofy white guy with a System of a Down beard. Just System of a Down. It's not your fault that guy was a psychopath. But he had, like, a goofy System of a Down beard. Went and shot those, I think it was mostly Korean, I guess I'd assume South Korean, women, but there was like other people that worked at these massage parlors, and he went and shot them up. You remember that? That was like really not that long ago. Was that like a month ago or 2 months ago maybe? Time keeps on slipping into the future, you know what I mean? But there's this epidemic. I had pictures yesterday, a video yesterday of a guy assaulting an 85-year-old woman. My God, man. Like, let me try to articulate that for a second. This guy attacked an 85-year-old woman. I don't care what her race is. An 85-year-old woman is made of graham crackers and paper mache. If you shove her to the ground, she might die. Never mind stabbing her, right? And then, like, and these have been happening all over the place. And it is, let me be completely clear here. This is quite frequently, almost exclusively, basically black men assaulting Asian people. There's the guy who had his baby in a stroller. He gets attacked by a black guy attacking him. And then what does the media do? Media frames it as, well, Donald Trump called the COVID-19 Kung Flu. You know, that's why black people in mostly urban, liberal, blue cities are attacking Asians. It makes no sense, and it is not tracking to reality. If anything, local market competition between black and Asian people in terms of like business ownership and voting and social mobility, this has created tension for a long time. People think that the LA riots were just about like Rodney King. No, it was Soo Ja-doo was the Korean store owner who shot I forget the girl's name. Was it Brianna? Not Breonna Taylor. That's a different person. Shot her after getting assaulted, which isn't grounds for killing somebody. But like, I mean, this was in what was that movie? Menace II Society. They had the whole thing about like the Asian store owner and the young black kids. Okay? This is a long time running tension. The rooftop Koreans, they weren't shooting at white supremacists or like even, just white people coming to like loot their stores. It was black people who were incensed against their community. Now, we can then couch this whole thing in like, well, white racism creates this tiered economy, etc., etc. Okay, I mean, I hear the argument that like the model minority thing for Asians and whatnot. But what I'm saying is, right now, what's happening is the media is saying Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump said potentially racist things. And so now black people in urban centers are committing violence against Asians, and that's their fault. Black Americans, like big Tucker Carlson viewers. Republicans, they get MAGA guys, right? Now, I just don't like. I'm trying to sort this stuff out because the lies get more and more complex as you go along, and like the deeper you look into it, and the more that's at stake, the lies that come from the mainstream media, they become more and more distorted from reality to where you would then think there's these like white supremacists all over the country assaulting Asian people. But that's not what's happening. It's not, unless these black people are white supremacists, which is kind of a thing. If you're like Tim Scott, this is apparently a thing. You're an Uncle Tim. But it's not what's happening. What's happening is in urban centers, there's tension between East Asian descendants or residents and black. I hate to say black, just black, but African Americans. I don't like that term particularly either. Like, there's really bad terminology for all this stuff. But they are victimizing Asian people, often older people and women, and the narrative spun by the media is basically that it's white people doing this. And as far as I can tell, it's not. It is not white people assaulting and harming Asian people. Go. I'm in the middle of the intersection, man. You didn't see me? You didn't see me in the middle of the intersection? Okay. Well, that's enough for one day. I guess it's Friday. That's the end of the week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.